Able to hear you just fine?
All right, I'm talking into this.
Yeah.
All right. Hello. Welcome to This Could Go Either Way. You have your dual hosts here. I'm Cynthia Calori.
And I'm Nicholas Wilson.
And remember, this could go either way. The topic today is, how do you do a podcast? I mean, truly, it is the topic, because...
this is not an educational video, by the way.
No,
this is more of an inquisitive conversation here, because we do not know what we're doing.
Correct. So, this episode is basically you, the audience, whoever might be spending their valuable time listening to this right now, is a recording of Nick and I actually figuring out all the ins and outs of what we need to be doing. So we're testing out our video, we're testing out our audio, and also figuring out what equipment we're going to need in the future. We are at Nicholas's home, so I don't want to take any credit for this room.
We're going for a natural setup.
A very natural setting.
We want people to be able to relate to the show.
Yes. Hold on. I'm gonna do. There you go. Come down a little bit. All right. Yeah, because it's all about relatability.
Right? And it's generally much worse.
So if looking at the background makes you happy, that's fine. If we see any comments of you judging us, well, shame on you.
And all the thuds you hear are just my dog over there chewing on something.
Aggressively chewing on something. So, but yes, we're in a very natural environment. And so, Nick, what are your thoughts on why we're doing this? We need a why. We gotta start with a why.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of this was your idea for this particular show, so I figured you already had a why.
I do. But it's being reformulated. I mean, the whole idea is I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy being in conversation. I don't know much, but I enjoy learning all the time. And the idea originally for myself was to kind of be the not celebrity status version of Chelsea Grammer, who right now, which I'm just learning about, she also is one of the very few voices of women that are not married, no children, career driven, and are completely okay with that by choice. And I felt that was also a voice I could have in this place, in this space, I should say. And especially being somebody that nobody knows who I am. Now, Chelsea Grammer, she's got a whole career and things behind her, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But I know that still the relatability is sometimes there's a gap because of that, where I'm just an average person. Somewhat average, anyway.
So, so basically you're trying to say the goal is to be essentially regular people talking about whatever we choose to be talking about. I mean, you know me, I have no problem talking endlessly and continually about whatever I may find interesting.
Yes.
So.
And, we discussed at our preliminary meeting, which we didn't know it was going to be a meeting about doing this, but how I liked your idea of your voice was going to be for somewhat of a stay-at-home dad situation.
Well, I do work.
You do work. He does. He's
part-time,
not unemployed.
But
he does.
Part-time. Like, I'm not trying to say that I'm not very spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to claim to speak for essentially anybody other than myself. But I hope that some people can find my situation relatable.
Yeah.
So my wife makes the majority money, which I think is, a kind of changing demographic, as it's no longer, always the guy that makes all the money, which is not where it needs to be.
Yeah. I think it's noble is the best word that comes to mind, that you're not only okay with it. You love it.
I just don't think, I mean, Noble, I think it just shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Well, you're not emasculated by it. I guess that's
No,
where many men might be, which that is a top.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly have a lot of opinions on how we, especially, I mean, I think I think that unfortunately there's often a point of view that's not taken, well, I need to probably face the mic more often too.
Yes, so. That's true.
But I think there is an unfortunate conversation that's hard to have is about what, I can see the right way to phrase it, just, that men don't necessarily have a place to enter the conversation a lot of the time. And so, historically, I mean, I understand why that point of view has grown, but, there's a lot of statistical facts that men are often being left behind. And I think it needs to be changing how we perceive what masculinity is and what it is to be a man and all that kind of stuff. It needs to change a little bit because otherwise there's just nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So
hence where that's kind of like where we're coming from.
So I guess that we kind of brought it to it. Basically, we're both in positions of changing
the norm, the perception of the norm, I guess, because it's all about your perspective of anything,
Right. Whereas I guess it to be, because I guess I don't necessarily have numbers to really define what the actual norm is, but what I guess we should be bucking what society would traditionally expect us to do.
Yeah. So I guess that's where we're coming from.
Right.
And plus, we just enjoy talking.
As you can tell from our extremely long-winded explanation of where we were coming from.
So if you're into that sort of thing, great. If you're not and you listen to all this, I warned you in the beginning that this could go either way. So that's and the why of it. If you feel like you connect and you love it and it's something you enjoy time and time again as we discuss new topics as the time moves forward, which I do have quite a few topics and ideas for what we're going to be doing that I'm going to bring to Nick's attention because I don't think he knows what I've been working on. But luckily, thank goodness, because he's got all the technical ability. I walked in and he has this really great setup of everything. I'm like, cool, because the set. Well, that's okay. We're gonna get a cool backdrop, and then there will be also this Gigantor light that's in our face. There we go.
There you go. See, we're figuring.
Hey, there you go. So we're learning. But yeah, we're gonna make it. We're gonna schnazz it up, but not too much because apparently doing all this stuff costs money, and. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't really work that much, so he doesn't have much. I'm just kidding.
That's true. Well, I have enough for groceries, and that's about it.
Yeah. I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm trying to make this a 3rd, so, that's fun. But that's either...
Hey, whatever kind of side hustle you can come up with is always,
I'm...
Especially if people are going to pay, or I guess people aren't going to pay, but if people are going to be willing to listen to us ramble on about whatever... And then we can get people to pay us because people are listening. I'm all for that.
Oh, yeah. Apparently people are doing it, and it's shocking. So
there's plenty more obnoxious people.
Yes.
People more obnoxious than us that get plenty of people to listen to them.
And please note, we are not naming any names there, but you probably came to your mind. Some people came to your mind when we said that. That's totally your own opinion.
It might have been us.
It might have been us. I don't know, obnoxious. Well, who knows? Again, this could go either way. You can see where the theme of the title of this podcast really rings true.
Yeah, especially if you mention it over and over. It's hard to forget.
I mean, it just keeps naturally and organically coming up. So another thing we need to figure out is how long these podcasts are going to go. I listen to quite a few gems of podcasts myself, and I know sometimes, depending when they have certain guests on, the episodes can go over an hour when they're riveting conversation.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them go on for hours if it's interesting enough.
Yeah, and then sometimes there's just little tidbits of something to just, jazz up your day that are 7-8 minutes, So, that's where I don't. That's where we're still working on the formatting, and and if anybody's listening, is anybody out there? We're welcome some feedback. What do you think? What do you think you'd like to hear based on what you're hearing from us already? How long would you like to hear us talk? If you say never, then I told you in the beginning. But feedback is very important. I definitely know going into this we have to be open to everything and attached to nothing, and that's a big philosophy I live by. And is it easy? No, but it's something to remember, to not get attached and take anything personal. But if there's some connection and you want to give feedback and you have things you'd like to add to help enhance, and we are all adding value to each other in some way, I'm definitely open to that for sure. I don't know about how you feel, because that is going to probably happen, where we're going to get solicited and unsolicited feedback from you.
I mean, knowing me, I'm sure I'll probably get into a comment, battle back and forth occasionally, but it'll be my goal not to.
Okay,
So
there
we'll
you
see
go.
what happens.
Yeah, okay, that'll be good.
I certainly appreciate anything constructive. I think sometimes, I hope that what we're able to do is have a conversation that is our actual conversations. Because I think that's part of the issue that's often hard, is that everything at this point is, a litmus test for something, right? My side or their side, and that's,
Now, could you explain for the audience what litmus test is?
Well, hopefully people get the gist of what it means, but in this context, it would mean that you have to check off certain boxes. You have to have certain opinions to be considered valid on any of your other opinions. The litmus test tends to be using something to determine the accurate parts of something else. I believe so. I don't know. There's probably a chemist out there really upset with that definition.
And again, whether you're having a joyous moment by listening to us, or you're infuriated by our terrible definitions and descriptions of anything, as I told you in the beginning, that's how we told you this could go either. Again,
Mostly, I just appreciate that you're listening.
Yeah, we are very grateful. If you're listening right now, wow. Is Sandy home?
Yes.
Oh.
So I guess we'll make that as take one.
Take
and
one.
Go from there.
That was great. That was a great first. Oh, we gotta stop that. Stop it.
Well, that's what editing's for, right? Is it gonna?